Hello and welcome to LaRosa Reads. I'm Denise LaRosa, and today I am going to discover the best first line in a book. Let's talk books. So I've decided to try something out for my July TBR. I've already selected the books that I hope to get to this month, but I sometimes, well, who am I kidding? I oftentimes have a difficult time figuring out which book am I going to pick up to read first or next. This is what I'm going to do, friends. I'm going to take all of the books on my July TBR. I'm going to read the first line in every single one of those books, and I'm going to tier rank them based upon, do they move me? Does this line move me? Does it give me all the feels? Is it chef's kiss? Is it like terrible and boring and dull and like makes me want to take the book out of my TBR? You get the idea, right? So go on this journey with me. I hope it will be a fun time. Wish me luck. All right, let's dive in to these July reads and see which one has the best first line. Okay. I'm going to start with The Skin I'm In. Opening this up. I want to be surprised, so I have not read these yet. The first time I seen her, I got a bad feeling inside. So I'm intrigued. I'm curious. Maybe that should have been a category. Let's put it in I'm moved for now, but that may change. We'll see. Makes me wonder what's going to happen next. So I like that. Next, from Sing Unburied Sing. Let's see what the first line is. It's got lots of praise. Wow, a lot happening here in the intro. Okay, so there's like an African chant. There's a lot of quotes. I'm going to skip those, although they're technically the first line. No. Let's see here. What? Oh, no. I had to open up. The pages were stuck. I digress. Those were just the opening quotes. Chapter 1, JoJo. I like to think I know what death is. Oh, okay. I am also moved by that one. I'm really curious. I know that there's some ghost involved in this book, and I'm wondering what's going to happen next as well. Let's hold it on to the I'm moved here and keep it moving. Next, we have Island Queen by Vanessa Riley. And oh my gosh, she was a delight. She signed the book. She said, Denise, enjoy. I'm sure I will, Vanessa. I'm sure I will. All right. Well, we've got a nice map here. Okay. London. Okay. London, 1824, Kensington House. Never knew a moment made better standing still. Because that was my audible reaction. Let's put this in the category. I don't know. It sounds prolific, but I'm not knowing enough about the characters and what's happening to be intrigued yet. We'll see. And next we have The House in the Cerulean Sea. I don't know why I'm already smiling like this is going to be a favorite of the year. I just have a feeling in my bones, baby. Let's see what happens. Oh dear, Linus Baker said, wiping the sweat from his brow. This is most unusual. Okay. Okay, TJ Clune, I see you, boo. We're talking about something being unusual. I want to know what's unusual. I was teetering on the tier of Chef's Kiss. It's not the most prolific, profound quote. Usually, what draws me in is like a very profound, lyrical, if you will, first line. But that, I think, for what are we looking for here is what I need to ask myself. Like, what are we looking for from a first line? We want to be intrigued. I keep hearing that word in my head. I want to be intrigued. I want to be drawn in. Yes, some prolific lyrical first lines will do that because you're captivated by the writing more so than like the story of what's going to happen next. So if we're thinking about what's got me wondering what's going to happen, what keeps me reading, so far, TJ Clune has me out of the 4 quotes I've read so far. It could change if another one moves me even more. We shall see. All right. Finally, I am excited that I will be getting to The Wedding Party by Jasmine Guillory. I feel bad. Let's go back here. I said that TJ Clune was the author of The House of the Cerulean Sea. I mentioned Vanessa Riley. I want to give shout outs to all of the authors equally. So Jasmine Ward, responsible for Sing, Unburied Sing, and the incomparable Sharon G. Flake is responsible for this modern classic, The Skin I'm In. So as I hit my headset, didn't want to leave any author out. As I hit my headset again, Lordy. Okay. So The Wedding Party. Let's see. I've already journeyed with these characters in books 1, 2, and 4. So that might lure me in a little bit more, just kind of already knowing who I'm going to be on the journey with. But let's see what happens. Maddie Forrest didn't want to go to this birthday party. Okay. She didn't want to go to the birthday party, not the wedding party. That is just okay for me. Like, okay, she didn't want to go. Maybe something transformational is going to happen. You know, those moments in life when you like don't want to go somewhere and then you push yourself to go and then you end up meeting the love of your life there, or you end up like meeting someone who gives you that next big job, or you meet like someone who becomes your best friend. So I don't know. Is that going to happen at this party? Who knows? We will find out. But that's just okay. Like, what else? The boyfriend candidate. Let's see what Ashley Winstead is up to with this one. Alexis is our protagonist. I'm so curious. Oh. And she also signed this book. She says, "Dear Denise, so hope you fall in love." I'm in love already. I love the author. I love the synopsis. It's going to be a good time. So let's see here. So the chapter has a title. This is the first chapter that I've gotten a title for, and it says, Alexis Stone is not a mouse. Okay. So here we go. I'll say one nice thing about my ex, Chris Tuttle. The man was the entire reason I was here, standing at the entrance to the sultry Fleur de Lis hotel bar, wearing a red dress so plunging, I kept it in the back of my closet for fear of scandalizing visitors, on the verge of reinventing myself. What? Okay. Okay. Yes, there's a little couple things are happening here. First, I already know Alexis from Fool Me Once. So I'm already like curious. But that was, first of all, the richest, longest sentence we've gotten so far. I don't want to say richest, but like the longest, most in depth. Sometimes it's the simplest of sentences to start a book that will draw you in the most, you know. So I'm not critiquing these books based upon that. I'm just saying like what's drawing me. But that one I've got to say, Chef's Kiss. Like, where did he get her? Like, where is she? Why is she there? Like, what did her ex do to get her? Like, I have an idea because I've read Fool Me Once, but I'm just curious. My interest is piqued. And I'm also a little type A. I want things in order. All right. Then we have So We Can Glow. Now, this is a collection of short stories. So I've got to go off of the vibes from the first line of the first short story. So a lot is weighing on this first short story. Let's see what Lisa Cross Smith does for us with the first short story. Okay, the first short story is titled We Moons, and here is the first line. We're not depressed all the time. Some of us aren't even depressed sometimes. Who's we? I don't know who we are. Who is we? So I'm curious. Let's change this to I'm curious because I just keep saying that. So if we change that tier, I can still, I'm going to put So We Can Glow alongside The Skin I'm In and Sing Unburied Sing. I want to know who we are. We're talking about depression. I'm curious as to how deep we're going to go into that topic. Is this, I don't know. I'm really curious. And next we have a classic children's work, The Secret Garden. Let's see what happens. And this is just lovely. It's got its own little bookmark. So gorgeous. I got this particular copy from Barnes and Noble, and it even has some illustrations in it. So, yeah. All right. So chapter 1 is titled There Is No One Left. When Mary Lennox was sent to Misselwaite Manor to live with her uncle, everybody said she was the most disagreeable looking child ever seen. Okay. I mean, I've read a bit of Earth, which is a retelling of The Secret Garden. So I am going into this knowing the gist of what the book's about. I'm going to say that's just okay. Okay, we've got a disagreeable child. So we're just going to say that's okay. That is okay. It's not right, but it's okay. So we have Nella Larson with Quicksand, and apparently Quicksand is Nella Larson's first novel, not Passing. I just assumed that Passing was her first. I don't know why. It's her most well-known, which also doesn't necessarily mean it would be her first. But I was really interested to find out that this was her first one. Passing blew me away. It was a 5-star read for me. So let's see what happens with this first line. Quicksand. We've got a Langston my country dialect came out. We have a Langston Hughes quote. I'm not going to count that as the first line, but I do want to read it. My old man died in a fine big house. My ma died in a shack. I wonder where I'm going to die, being neither white nor black. So we are dealing with a biracial character, a biracial protagonist, which Nella Larson identified as biracial. I forget which parent was white, which parent was black, but this, from what I've read, Quicksand is somewhat autobiographical in nature. So that quote makes sense. All right, Helga Crane. Here we go. Helga Crane sat alone in her room, which at that let's try that again. My dialect is just oozing out. Helga Crane sat alone in her room, which at that hour, 8 in, was in soft gloom. Yes, Nella Larson, I knew she'd come through. See, the sentence doesn't have to be long to be lyrical, prolific, profound, evoking curiosity. I gotta read that one again. That one's delicious. Let's read that again. Helga Crane sat alone in her room, which at that hour, 8 in the evening, was in soft gloom. That soft gloom. And just to me, all of my senses were a part of that sentence. Like the visual, her sitting in her room, the hour, like feeling like a room, like my senses were awakened. Like, what did the room smell like? Soft gloom. What does that look like? She's sitting alone. I want to know, is she sitting alone sad? Is like her mood matching the soft gloom of the ambiance? Okay, chef's kiss. So let's do some changes here. Let me back up. All right, I'm ready to make some changes, but let me back it up because we've got one more book. Then I already see where I'm making some adjustments. So far, I'm thrilled that none of these books have a first line that didn't move me at all, because that would stink, because all these books are on my July TBR. All right, last but not least, we have an A. Marie's book club selection, Unlikely Animals, which is really, really eclectic in my humble opinion, at least according to the synopsis. So I can only imagine what the first line is going to be like. Like my hopes, my expectations, the bar is high for like drawing me in. There's an author's note. Interesting. Okay, we'll read that later. But yeah, with a synopsis as eclectic and all over the place as this one, like that first line better be like top notch. All right. Maple Street Cemetery, Everton, New Hampshire. We've got the temperature or something, or I don't know, directions, cardinal directions, something, I don't know. Years later, when people in Everton would tell this story, they would say it was Clive Starling who called the reporter the way that man loved attention. Woo! Yes, we've got somebody calling a reporter. So like, what the heck? Like, what is happening? So that's telling me there's action. I love character-driven stories. So Clive Starling is a character for us to get to know, because this man loved past tense, loved attention. We've got like a locale. We've got a location, Maple Street Cemetery, a little spooky. Okay, and years later. All right, so let's put Unlikely Animals up here. I'm ready to make some changes. So here we have, I'm still with Island Queen. This doesn't mean that I'm not liking the story or not digging it or thinking it's going to be trash. No. It's just that first line, I need more. I need to read more. And that's okay too. But for the purposes of this video, I have to put it in the category. I'm still going to keep The Wedding Party and The Secret Garden at just okay. They're fine. Like, whatevs. Like, this one was like, I don't know what's happening. I need more. This one's like, okay, I see there's a character. Like, we're right away, our two protagonists, right? They're there. They're doing something, or, we get a little sense of the protagonist's personality in The Secret Garden and a little bit of her circumstances. Here we're hearing a little bit about Maddie and where she's headed to. So we're getting a feel for the setting and her mood. But just okay, right? I'm curious about Sing Unburied Sing. I'm curious about the skin I'm in. Let me take another look at So We Can Glow. I'm struggling between I'm curious and just okay. I got to refresh my memory here. What's happening? We're not depressed all the time. Some of us aren't even depressed sometimes. Ooh, so knowing that's a short story, so that first line's not going to give us an idea of the entire book. It's a short story collection. I'm going to have to move it to just okay for a couple reasons. Number one, like I just said, it's a short story collection. So maybe this short story will be one of my favorites out of the collection. Maybe it won't. So I don't want to weigh too much on it. And it's like, okay, like when I reread that, I'm like, okay, like interesting. The House of the Cerulean Sea, I'm going to reread. But I have to tell you guys, before I reread, let's move these over here. The House of the Cerulean Sea and the Boyfriend Candidate. Wow. So, which one would I? So these two definitely are chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, in my humble opinion, for best first line. The Boyfriend Candidate gave us a lot. I'm not sure. There was a lot. That was like I don't want to say a run-on sentence, but that was a heck of a long sentence. Is it because it was meatier that I was interested? I mean, we got a good feel for Alexis's mood and where she was headed. You know, you're going to be in for a wild ride, right? The House of the Cerulean Sea. Let's go back to this one. Oh dear, Linus Baker said, wiping the sweat from his brow. This is most unusual. So when I added this is most unusual, that's technically the second sentence. I thought it was like a semicolon. So technically all we have here for first line is, oh dear, Linus Baker said, wiping the sweat from his brow. All right, so that makes me want to bring the House of Cerulean Sea's first line down to I'm curious. Why is Linus like, oh dear? That's actually one of my colleagues at work and my family members, that's one of your girl's favorite things to say is, oh dear. So who knows? I want to know, like, why is Linus like, oh dear? And why is he sweating? I don't know. But I'm curious, but I'm not like, oh, that was like chef's kiss for a first line. Let's go back to the Boyfriend Candidate. I have to reread this one. So Alexis Stone, this is in her POV, point of view. I'll say one nice thing about my ex, Chris Tuttle. The man was the entire reason I was here, standing at the entrance to the sultry Fleur de Lis hotel bar, wearing a red dress so plunging I kept it in the back of my closet for fear of scandalizing visitors, on the verge of reinventing myself. Okay. I still want to give it chef's kiss. I'm a little more than curious, not a lot more, but a little more than curious. Like, I think it is a stellar first line to suck a reader in, to draw them in. So there you have it. So if we were to place, like have a first, second, third place in these tiers, Island Queen is all by its lonesome. Here for just okay. I have to go in this order, like the most just okay book, first line rather, is The Wedding Party and So We Can Glow. I feel like this might be because of my own reading experience. The Secret Garden is in last place because I kind of already have an idea of what's going on. And it was just like, whatevs. What's leaving me curious here? I am definitely The House of the Cerulean Sea is in third place. I have to remind myself of the lines in Sing Unburied Sing to make sure I have them ranked or like placed in the right order. So I'm going to pull out Sing Unburied Sing. I like to think I know what death is. Okay. Then let's get the skin I'm in. The first time I seen her, I got a bad feeling inside. These are in their proper place. I mean, the skin I'm in, talk about a bad feeling. Who are you looking at? Why do you have a bad feeling? I like to think I know what death is. Well, what made you think you knew, and what made you change your mind about that? What makes you feel like maybe I don't know? The oh dear is kind of like, oh dear, what? And these, oh my gosh, Nella Larson gets the most beautifully written first line. Like, I mean, my senses were awakened. Unlikely Animals gets the most intriguing one. Like, I want to know what the heck is happening. Who is this dude? You know, same with The Boyfriend Candidate. I have to say the best first line for my July TBR goes to Nella Larson's Quicksand. In second place will be Unlikely Animals. Third place would be The Boyfriend Candidate. And then we have the rest in the order that you see. I'm going to try, you guys. I'm going to try to read in this order. Oh, and I forgot to give a special shout out to the author of Unlikely Animals, Annie Hartnett. Annie Hartnett wrote Unlikely Animals. I'm going to try to read the books in this order. We shall see what happens with that. Like, do the books deliver from their first line? I don't know. So I'm going to try to do presentation view just so it can look a little cuter there. There you have it. Okay, there you have it. So let me know, my loves. Did you like this video? Do you want me to do more of these tier rankings? More Zoomy type of stuff? Or does Zoom give you like PTSD from the COVID years? I don't know. But let me know in the comments below. I think this was fun. I am curious to see how it shapes my reading experience for July. All right, that was fun. What is the best first line you've ever read? Let me know by hopping in those comments and telling me what your favorite first line is in a book. Tell me what book it is, because your girl might add it to her TBR. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.